Hey everyone, welcome back to another Move Abroad Monday. I'm so happy to have you here today. Sorry, my voice is a little bit crackly because I'm losing my voice at the moment, but I still wanted to make sure that I chat it with y'all today. For those of you who are new, hello, I'm Dr. Raquel. Between my husband and I, we have lived in 5 different countries, and currently our family holds Mexican residency. So we are out on our way out. Okay. And so, this is the time where I tell you about kind of what we're planning, what we're doing, what we have done, so that you can do all the things and be ready for all the things you need in order to be able to make your move abroad happen. Okay. So, lately I have been spending a lot of time just thinking about what it really means to prepare for an international move. Because as many of you know, my family's in this season right now. We're making decisions, we're checking things off. We're slowly getting closer to our move abroad time. But what's been interesting is that even though this isn't our first time moving abroad, I found myself coming back to like the same questions I've asked years ago when we were preparing for our first move. Not like where should we live, but like what type of life are we trying to create? And I think that's the question that it really is the founding question of your move abroad, and one that people don't ask enough. And so, when you're thinking about moving abroad, the number one question I get asked is, okay, I'm planning on moving abroad. I'm thinking about moving abroad. I'm interested in moving abroad, and I'm trying to figure out which country I want to go to. But if you have an idea, a clear picture of what kind of life you're trying to create, all of that falls into place and the country becomes crystal clear. So, it's such a natural question to say, like, okay, which country should I choose? It makes sense because there are so many incredible places around the world to live. Um, but over the years, I started to believe that it's actually the second question more that you should be asking. And the first question is really about the life that you want. Because moving abroad, it really has nothing to do with geography if you think about it. So if you could create a life that aligns with you, that matters to you, where you are thriving, where you feel just in your jam. It doesn't matter where it is. If that's happening where you are right now, you're not going to move. So it's less about where you're going and it's more about what you're looking for. So for example, let's say healthcare is something that is very important to you. You want to go to a place where healthcare is accessible, available, not going to make you broke, um, where you don't have to fight for it. And if that could happen in the city and the state that you're living in, then you're not going to leave that city and state. But if it's not even happening in the country that you're living in, then you're going to choose another country. And which country are you going to choose? A country that has great healthcare. And so, again, when you understand kind of your why, that is going to then make choosing all the other things kind of so much easier to funnel through. The country, of course, is important, but that's only one piece of the picture. Okay. When my family and I first moved abroad, we thought, like, okay, we're going to be gone for 2 years. That was the plan. And we weren't trying to just leave the US forever. We just wanted like an international experience. I had already lived abroad. My husband had lived abroad. And so we knew that we wanted to do it again, but together, like as a family. And so 8 years later, we were still living abroad. So people ask, like, did you always know you were planning to stay that long? No, not at all. But things changed, things adjusted, and we figured out that the life that we were able to create there really aligned with a lifestyle that we wanted. Why did we move back? Many people ask that question too. We moved back to be closer to our family. We wanted to be near our family. We wanted our kids to know our parents and our siblings. And it has been amazing, like having our kids be able to build relationships and know who our parents are, know who their cousins are, be able to build friendships with people who we already had friendships with. And so that has really been an amazing thing. However, many of the other things that we're looking for have not been there. So that's why we're looking to see, okay, we already have a very strong family connection. We have a very strong friend connection. We have a very strong village. And so, are we able to maintain that while also getting those other things that we think are very, very important? Safety, for me, is number one. And it doesn't matter if I have someone who I am able to build a great relationship with here, but then my kids aren't safe. That's a problem for me. When I drop my son off at school and then 2 minutes after I drop him off, they have a warning that there may be an active shooter nearby. That's a problem for me. So, no, thank you. There are things that are very, very important to me that we're just not able to get where we are. And so that's a reason why, we're trying something different to see if we can maybe find those things somewhere else. Our priorities have shifted. And it's not because other things are less important, but it's because there are just things that are very, very important, like the safety of our children, that we don't think that we'll be able to get here. Okay, so it's like, you're not really just choosing a country. You're choosing how you want to live. What are the things that are important to you? And that's really a very, very important distinction. Okay, so sometimes I think we spend too much time comparing countries, and it makes it so you forget about the other things that are also important. So what do you want to do? Why do you want to move? Think about that. And not in a group, not with your partner, not with your children. Why do you want to move? When you are envisioning your life abroad, what vision comes to mind? Is it spending more time with your children? That's my vision. I barely saw them this year until the summer. And I don't like that, and it's not cool. A slower pace of life, absolutely. So we were in all of the activities, and because we are transitioning to moving abroad, we ended many of those because we're leaving. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the quality of life that has changed because I'm not doing all of these things, because we're not having to go to all of these school events. It's amazing. And I'm with it. So definitely we're looking for a slower pace of life where we can spend more time together. Maybe you want less time commuting and more time in nature. Now, again, if that's what you're looking for, your country can definitely dictate where you, or that lifestyle can definitely dictate which country fits with you. So, for example, if you want less time commuting, you probably should not move to London, period, because that's not necessarily going to be a thing unless you are already rich and willing to spend money to live in the center of the city where you can just get everywhere quickly. But most people don't have that. Most people are commuting. If you're looking for a place where you can travel more easily, then also that can dictate which country. Belgium is an amazing place for easy travel. You can get to London in 2 hours, Paris in 2 hours, Amsterdam in 2 hours, all from Belgium. It's amazing. So it's really thinking through the answers to what are those things that matter most, because which destinations are actually a good fit with you will directly connect to those things. Now, I'm gonna say it. I know that it is very tempting to watch the 10 best countries to move abroad or ask other people online, okay, this is my family situation. Based on this, do you think that this would be a good fit for me? It is always great to get people's insights, their opinions, their thoughts on the things, okay? However, I think one thing that you must understand is that everybody else's experience is not your own. I recently was working with a couple, and there was one location that the wife was like, I absolutely love this spot. I definitely think we should move there. They went to go on a scoping trip there, and the husband and the kids were like, absolutely not. Okay. And there were many reasons why it wasn't a jam for their family. Now, when she's there by herself, she was in her zone. But when she's there with her family, she was like, oh no, like this was late. I had to wait for that. Like then we couldn't get these things that we needed. And it was just not a great spot as a family unit. And so just because something is great for one person does not mean that it is great for someone else. Just because someone looks like you and they may thrive in that place, that doesn't mean that it is a great place for you. There are places that I have visited, that I have lived in, that other people are planning to move to, and they look like me. They've gone there and they've loved it. I lived there and I hated it. And so it really is about you and what you are looking for. For example, when people are like, "Oh, this is a great place for Black women." I don't always agree with those lists. Some of those places on those lists, I've lived there. I'm a Black woman and I'm not for it. And so it's important for you to figure out, what do you want? What do you like? What do you need in your new home abroad? Okay, so ask yourself what you want your everyday to look like. When it's a Tuesday morning, what time are you waking up? What are you doing in the morning? What are your evenings feeling like? How much time do you have with the people who love you, who you love? Are you wanting to homeschool? Is this environment conducive to homeschooling? What parts of your life right now do you want to stay the same while you're there? Maybe you are in a city and you like that you don't have to have a car. So you're also looking for another city where you're able to kind of jump on public transit. It's safe, it's able to get you where you need to be. What do you want to absolutely change in your new place? So those are questions. They're not as exciting as like researching a new country, talking to the people. Those are really exciting things. But these are also the most important questions that you will answer during your entire journey of your move abroad. And it's really, really, again, important just that you get super, super clear. Okay. So I think that that's just a really important exercise in general to ask yourself those questions. And instead of me telling you where you should go, you should say, these are the things I'm looking for. Which countries align with those things? And that will narrow your list all the way down. Okay. You don't even really need advice. You just need to be asking people, so when I get there, is there a hustle culture to this location? That was one of the first questions I asked. What type of culture are we talking about? Is this a hustle bustle? And every city in Mexico is not the same vibe. There are cities that are hustle bustle. There are cities that are the complete opposite. And that's what I'm looking for, the complete opposite. So I want a place where I know that I'm going to be able to have safety for my children, where I know that we can spend time together as a family, where I know that we can be outside and enjoy nature and activities together, and actually like get to know each other and spend time together. So I'd love to hear what it is that you think about, and that what is important for you. I'd love to hear some of your ideas and thoughts about what it is that you're looking for. And of course, if a country comes to mind, I'd be happy to share. So by all means, feel free to drop your comments, and let me know your thoughts on what really is important to you, because I've shared what's important to me, and that's why this my current place and location and country does not align. So thank you so much for joining me. That's my little 2 cents for the day. And I hope that this gave you something to think about as you continue to plan your own journey to living your best life abroad. All right. And I will see you all next Monday. Bye.